Boy, you got that step down pretty good, Dan.
I was told that file was lost. And don't encourage Kat. What are you doing this with a thumbs up to the control room?
I love it. I love it.
I thought when we had our little file storage problem, Kat, that somehow went off into cyber. Oh, God,
Well, welcome you to our new show. It's called Soul Train.
From Television City in Hollywood, this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Wednesday, the 21st day of March, 2018. I am Dan Kuntz. The host, he is Steve Hare, our news director. I was told that disappeared.
Well, you know how it is.
The story, by the way, a couple of months ago, in case you're curious, we were just testing stuff, new sets or something. I can't remember what it was. I was doing a stand-up for the promo where you come in with a green screen and you just stand there.
You were just warming up, right?
Yeah, and I had nothing to do while they were setting up stuff. And so I just started to jigger around a little bit. And they were recording the whole thing, and now it has become an urban legend. Kat, I'd like to see you right after the show. We do have a good show for you today. Great night for the, if you were rooting for the home teams, incredible hockey game last night at the Town Toyota Center. Sam Hessler's the hero, baby. He scored the game-winning goal with 57 seconds left in the third period, and we got ourselves a series. Wild are now within a game of Vernon. They won last night in incredible fashion. We got a complete highlight package for you there.
Still down by one in a 2-1 game there, but match.
We're back at it. Yeah. I love that. It was just an incredible game at the Town Toyota Center. And also the Wenatchee boys soccer team doubled up on West Valley in a game that you could see or saw live here last night on the NCW Live channel. Wouldn't you know it? We got highlights of that as well. We got birthdays, we got the obscure holiday, we got today in history, a brand new, everyone is entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion. You got a bunch of news to get to, a lot of it environmental related.
A lot of stuff having to do with salmon, wolves, and also some information coming up on the Bitcoin moratorium that's been imposed now by the Chelan County PUD and what that's going to mean going forward for that industry.
We got a lot of news to get your Wednesday going.
Yeah. Good breaking news national right now is that the Texas bomber apparently died in a self-inflicted explosion last night near Austin.
But they're still worried that there might be some packages floating around that he mailed that haven't been detonated yet. Yeah, so they're still, but it looks like that saga has come to an end.
The SWAT team was closing in on him in a car, and he detonated the bomb and blew himself up.
We have a flood watch, by the way. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. There's going to be some significant rainfall tonight, overnight, into early tomorrow morning. Very important weather forecast is coming up. We continue our week-long series of conversations about the Wenatchee School District's $120 million construction bond.
Big stuff.
That residents in the Wenatchee School District will be voting on April 24th. We have two members of the class of 1973, the first class to graduate from the current Wenatchee High School. We have Connie Morris and Greg Brown will be joining us from the class of 1973. As you might imagine, they're here to encourage you to vote on this proposal. Well, they'll be joining me in the second half of the show. And of course, tonight at 7 o'clock, live from the LGI, the Large Group Instruction Room inside Wenatchee High School, I will be moderating a town hall forum to give you all the information you need to make an educated and insightful vote. On April 24th, it's a live broadcast. You can go there in person and watch it. You can participate. You can watch it right here on television. You can participate via social media. It's going to be a fascinating show. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of preparations gone into it. And tonight at 7 o'clock live right here on the NCW Live channel, a 1-hour special presentation, a town hall forum all about the construction bond. And I'm looking forward to that.
This is the first of its kind here in the Wenatchee Valley. Interactive.
Yep.
So you can actually follow along Facebook and post questions as we go.
And we've gotten a lot of people putting in their 2 cents. And it's not just incontinent raves. These are legitimate concerns and legitimate pros and cons. And good stuff. Good stuff from our viewers. And we appreciate it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. We get every one of those things. Quick little note, at 4.5 minutes after the hour, boy, this show's already flying by. Sunrise was 4.5 minutes ago. Sunrise this morning exactly at 7 o'clock. Sunrise tomorrow, 6:59. Now that we're fully into spring, the first full day of spring, are you ready for this? We're going to gain about 2.5 minutes of daylight a day now. So it's going to be a pretty dramatic increase in daylight as we get closer and closer to the first day of summer.
I know my bedtime's getting a little later, that's for sure.
So I love it. Spring, bring it on, but we don't have spring weather details coming up. You ready to go around the valley?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. From the Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet, we say good morning.
See a few clouds up there now.
Yeah,
We are
it's gonna
expecting to see some rain here.
It's going to be cloudy. We're going to get some rain later on today. Quite a bit of rain overnight tonight. The rain today is going to be off and on. The big rain is tonight when we're all sleeping, or at least I'll be sleeping anyway. So good morning to the Wenatchee Valley proper. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Life channel. Now, from this point forward, Kat, our producer, gets to decide what we get to look at and we get to guess. And that is the monitor camera, I want to say, pointed directly to the west. So you can see the foothills.
Upper Valley there.
You can see beautiful Kashmir. Look at all those orchards getting ready to have another good year of apples, peaches, pumpkin pie. The Wenatchee River, just off the Sleepy Hollow area. So good morning to Kashmir. Thanks for joining us. Camera number 3.
There we go.
Oh, that's looking up Lake. Is that looking up Lake Chelan? That's Bear Mountain pointing up lake.
Wow, that's a picture we don't get.
We don't get that one very often at all. Good morning to our friends up in Bear Mountain. Beautiful golf course, one of my favorites.
Looking up lake towards 25 Mile. I
and
believe,
Stehekin and Holden is around the corner there. Beautiful morning up there. You know, I think, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe on the left-hand side of your screen, I believe that's the state park, is it not? Jutting out there just a little bit?
I was going to say the 25 Mile park is up in that direction.
It's been a while since I've been up there.
Creek, that area?
Yeah. I want to say that's the state park off the Navarre Coulee Road. I might be wrong.
Cross River, is that Manson area?
Yeah, I think Manson's just out. I think Manson's a little bit farther to your right. I don't think you can quite make that out. Camera number 4, is that correct? I've lost track already. There's Billy Goat.
Our favorite, with Mount Kalispell in the background.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Let's just throw this up and.
That's drama.
Yeah, I'm going to call up Connie and Greg in the green room and say we're not doing the show today. We're just going to throw up the Billy Goat camera and go have breakfast. That's incredible.
That puts everybody in a good mood, doesn't it?
God, I just love that. And look at this. Look at that big orange, yellowish thing there on the right. It's 93 million miles from us. The sun.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. And once again, that camera is at just about 6,800 feet. That is up there. And that little bump, as we now know from Mr. Rogness, is Mount Kalispell.
Mount Kalispell.
Which is about 6,800 feet. So just an incredible view up there in the Pateros and Brewster area. Great way to start your day. 7.5 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday, we are live here from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee, your weather forecast. From the National Weather Service, get ready for significant rain. We have a flood watch. It begins tonight at 8 o'clock, and it is extended until tomorrow night at 11. That's your timeline. It starts tonight at 8. It goes until tomorrow night, Thursday night at 11. There's a big upper-level low trough that's going to slide in from the south. So those cascades that usually give us that rain shadow, it ain't going to happen. We're going to get dumped on. Pretty good.
Not like California, though. As I understand, they've got evacuations that are occurring down in the Santa Barbara Ventura area again.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez,
yeah, they're looking at up towards 13 inches of rain in the mountains above Santa Barbara.
That's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
We're not going to get 13 inches of rain. We're going to get almost nothing today.
Right.
Tonight, that's another story altogether. It begins about 11 o'clock tonight till about 4 o'clock tomorrow. Pretty heavy rain, between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch possible of rain tonight, overnight tonight, and it spills into Thursday morning. By Thursday mid-morning, we'll be done with the rain, but we're still going to get more on Thursday. As you can see there, that temperature, all of these temperatures are below normal until we get to Monday and Tuesday. Slight chance of rain and snow, a rain-snow mix possible Friday into Friday night. No snow accumulation is expected, but you can see that overnight low of 30 is well below normal Friday as we spill into Saturday. And then high pressure will slowly begin to build up. By the time we get to Monday and Tuesday, we're back to nice spring weather. But the big story tonight into Thursday morning, significant rain again for the north central Washington area. We have a flood watch. Begins at 8 o'clock tonight, goes until tomorrow at 11.
Now, did we make it to 60 yesterday?
No, not even close.
Not
55.
Oh, okay.
Which was, by the way, exactly
like
normal.
60.
It did. It did. Well, that's because we're not used to it. You know, it's just we're not used to it. It just feels warmer than it actually is. That is your weather forecast at 9 after the hour. Let's do your past report. Courtesy of the Washington State Department of Transportation, you are looking live at the summit of Snoqualmie Pass. No advisories, no restrictions. Steve, the roadway is
bare and wet.
It's actually bare and dry. On Stevens Pass, no advisories, no restrictions. Steve, the roadway is
I give up.
Bare and dry. Clear skies up above. Blewett Pass, no advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is
bare
and Right. Forecast for the passes today, a little bit of light snow much later on in the day. For the most part today, you're not going to have any problems at all. The clouds will be thickening up in the mountain passes, but there is no real precipitation at all in the forecast today. As you might imagine, with rain in the forecast tonight, they have some snow in the forecast, but actually not a lot. Now remember, this system that we're talking about that's going to bring us the rain, it's not coming from the west, it's coming from the south. So they're not going to get as much snow as they normally would, as you would think that they would. So just a little bit of snow tonight. Thursday, maybe a couple of inches of snow in the mountain passes. Less than an inch expected Thursday night. Friday, a couple of inches tops. Friday night, a couple of inches tops. And then that's it for the snow. So normally we associate heavy rain, significant rain in the Wenatchee Valley with significant snow in the upper elevations. That's not going to be the case today, tonight, because again, all the precipitation is not coming from the west, it's coming from the south.
More like a Pineapple Express type of
Actually,
storm.
no, it's cool, because as you can see, the temperatures are below normal.
But in terms of the precipitation.
Yeah, in terms of the precipitation, exactly.
Don't
But the
argue with me, Dan.
temperatures are going to be a little cooler than normal. 11 minutes after the hour, live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee. A 1-minute break, and then the news with this gentleman. Nice shirt, by the way. I want to compliment you on that.
You too.
Steve Hare has the news in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
Collins Fashions has a fabulous selection of clothing, handbags, jewelry, and shoes for all events in your life, such as work, errands, celebration, travels, etc., etc. And our professional caring staff will assist you in coordinating your wardrobe and choose a perfect gift for that special someone. Our many fabulous brands include Joseph Ribkoff, Tribal, Jag Jeans, Tommy Bahama, and we are your Brighton headquarters for North Central Washington. We are grateful for our wonderful customers, and we look forward to seeing you at Collins, where fun and fashion meet in downtown Wenatchee.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get to here news-wise in North Central Washington for this Wednesday. It's March 21st. Here's what's happening. First of all, from the environmental file, gray wolf numbers are on the increase in Washington state, according to a recently released annual statewide survey by the Department of Fish and Wildlife. Washington's gray wolf population increased for the 9th consecutive year. NCW Life's Grant Olson has more on that story.
Much of those increases continue to be primarily in the northeastern part of the state. In the report released last Friday, the state's wolf population at the end of 2017 was around 122, including 22 packs and 14 successful breeding pairs. That compares with a minimum of 115 wolves, 20 packs, and 10 breeding pairs reported at the end of 2016. Ben Maletsky, Fish and Wildlife Wolf Specialist, says the 2017 totals are the highest recorded since the state documented an established wolf pack in the state, and annual surveys were begun in 2008. The state's wolf population has grown by an annual average of 31% over the past decade. According to the 2017 survey, 15 of the 22 known packs range in Ferry, Stevens, and Pend Oreille counties in the northeast corner of the state. There has been recent confirmation of at least one wolf in western Washington, but wolf packs have not yet become established in the North and South Cascades, even though quality habitat is available in those areas. Grant Olson, NCW Life News.
And on another wildlife front, it's been 70 years since salmon were seen on the Columbia River above Grand Coulee Dam. Plans are moving forward to restore the run thanks to efforts by the Colville Confederated Tribes. Now, the tribe's Director of Natural Resources, Cody DeSotel, said they plan to trap and haul the fish from the tribe's hatchery to the water above Chief Joseph and Grand Coulee dams. Now, the Grand Coulee was built between 1933 and 1941, effectively blocking salmon from traveling to the upper reaches of the Columbia River. But DeSotel said that could change early this fall. He said the plan hangs on one last federal permit from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. Washington's Department of Fish and Wildlife Commissioner Dave Graybill is very aware of the push to restore runs above Grand Coulee. He says some unique technological advancements may make what was once impossible now feasible.
There's been a desire for a long time to explore the feasibility of just doing just that, particularly with the Colville tribes and their confederated tribes and across border tribes. And when it first came up, I thought, well, that's kind of crazy. You know, how are we going to get them over Grand Coulee Dam? The new technology that's out there, and it would be very interesting. I think you could just Google and it would be very interesting. I think you could just Google whoosh, W-H-O-O-S-H, whoosh system, and you'll see that there is this great new salmon gun.
It's a salmon shotgun. Yeah, aren't they using that now on this Upper Skagit?
There are places where they're actually using this, and they put salmon voluntarily from a holding pool enter this pipe. It puts just a half a pound of pressure on them, and they've successfully gone 500 feet in elevation to move
incredible.
Fish upstream.
That's incredible.
And they just come flying out into the holding pond, and everything's great.
Again, Graybill says it's one thing to get the adult salmon up over the dams, but it's a whole other problem to get the young smolt back downstream. Also, Chelan County Commissioner Keith Gaynor commented yesterday on the emergency declaration announced last week by the Icicle-Peshastin Irrigation District. Action was taken in response to potential problems from last year's Jack Creek forest fire on 8 Mile Lake in the Alpine Lakes Wilderness. The fire scarred land around the lake is highly vulnerable to erosion and mudslides, creating the potential for downstream flooding. Commissioner Gaynor has been involved as a member of the Icicle Working Group. It's a collaboration of different forest user groups to discuss water issues as they relate to the Alpine Lakes Wilderness.
It has been an education process, because when we first started having public meetings, it was surprising how many people who felt like they were well aware of what was in the wilderness, they were unaware that these dams have been in place since the 1920s, and they far predated the wilderness designation. So, you know, once they understood that this isn't, we're not talking about building new structures, we're just talking about repairing and maintaining what's there. Actually, what those dams have done is created the environmental experience, the wilderness experience for the people. It's maintained the water in the lakes longer into the season. I mean, typically those lakes would have been flushed out prior to putting those dams in. Those dams were built as a result of droughts in the 1920s. So in the late 20s, you know, they had the foresight to say, you know, if we can hold this water longer, we can have a, you know, a fruitful valley, which is what that really does. It feeds 2 irrigation districts, and not only that, but then we have, you know, a greener, and you know, we're recharging the aquifer as that water comes out slower. So I mean, there's some real benefits that I think people have not been able to really totally understand about how much a positive impact those dams have been.
And again, the Irrigation District currently doing an environmental assessment of the project with hopes of making the necessary repairs, again, to the 8 Mile Lake Dam. On the business front, Bitcoin mining has been shut down in Chelan County as PUD commissioners on Monday put a stop to processing new electric service applications. PUD board members unanimously imposed the application moratorium after reviewing impacts on utility operations from existing loads and applications for service. In fact, Customer Service Engineering Supervisor Lyle Moore reports that there are 19 pending applications for up to 5 megawatts each. That's a potential total load of about 16.3 average megawatts. There are 22 existing high-density loads in the county totaling about 13.5 megawatts total. Typical county-wide growth in a year is only about 4 megawatts, so you see the problem there. General Manager Steve Wright. Here's Lyle Moore, first of all, and his comments.
The challenges with this high volume, it really impacts our ability to provide quality customer service. It's impacting our traditional organic load growth applications that we're seeing. Just a note of example is generally in the winter we're working on O&M and capital type work, excuse me, in the engineering department. and we have not spent a lot of time on that this year. We're processing these applications.
General Manager Steve Wright said impacts from cryptocurrency mining applications are hampering responses to the district's overall planned work and threatens the county's electric grid capacity to meet planned growth in the future. Now, public health and safety concerns due to rogue operators led to the cities of Chelan and Wenatchee acting to curb those types of operations, especially in residential neighborhoods. In fact, the Wenatchee City Council is holding a public hearing tomorrow night to discuss more about that moratorium in the city. Well, in light of the school shooting at a school in Maryland yesterday morning, 2 Wenatchee High School seniors on yesterday's Wake Up Wenatchee program with Dan Kuntz were asked by our host if they felt safe on their campus.
Fortunately, we have yet to have an incident in our community. However, just seeing the frequency of these type of incidences across the nation, it's definitely something that has come to my mind, and personally speaking with other students, that comes to theirs as well.
Same question, Ashley. Day to day, you feel safe, right? You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic. I don't like thinking the worst, especially of the high school that I've been at for 4 years and I've enjoyed thoroughly. So it's very strange to think that it could change, but I do know that there's a lot of public opinion that the high school could be victimized.
Now, both Ashley Turner and Sebastian Passion will take part in tonight's live town hall that's going to be broadcast live, with Dan doing the honors as the moderator for that big event tonight. So obviously it's a big night, big decision to be made by the district voters here in the Wenatchee School District.
Ballots are mailed out on April 6th. Election day is April 24th. And I'm looking forward to tonight. It's going to be very interesting.
Should be interesting. Yeah. By the way, a little reminder too, Pybus Public Market today, they're having a non-profit fair. So if you're looking to get involved as a volunteer with any charitable organization here in the Wenatchee Valley, good idea to go down to the Pybus Market today and introduce yourself.
Well, I got paid a couple of days ago, as did you, and last night I balanced my checkbook, and I think I qualify as a nonprofit.
There you go.
I'm pretty close to it. Anyway, don't forget in the second half of the shows, Ashley and Sebastian, the class of 2018, the 2 seniors from Wenatchee High School, they were so good yesterday. Greg and Connie have some work to do to surpass these kids who were on yesterday. They're articulate, they're smart, they have a great future in front of us. My guests today are 2 members of the class of 1973, the first class to graduate from the current Wenatchee High School.
What was your graduating class?
It was after Connie and Greg anyway. I'm class of 83. Connie and Greg, class of 73, will be joining us to talk more about the school bond. That's the second half of the show. The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. We're over here, Steve. The news with Grant Olson is also available on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com. And we invite you to go to our website and check it out. It's pretty cool, something we're pretty proud of, and you can help us out. Something out there that you think might be newsworthy, let us know, right, Steve?
Always starving for news stories and ideas for possible issues. Give us a call at 888 NCWL. Hotline is 888-6295, or you can contact us on our email address. Address is news@ncwlife.com, and you can also contact us on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and as always on our website at ncwlife.com. Contact us up on the navigation bar there.
One more item before, it just popped into my head. I didn't get a chance to look at it thoroughly. We got an email from Don Messick, our regional labor economist.
We'll have that for you later, as a matter of fact.
Was that the
Crunch
year in
numbers.
review? I think it was the year in review for 2017, wasn't it? He said it would come out in mid-March. I don't know if it was for April or for February or for the entire year. I'm
We'll have the
curious
full
about
story
that.
for you coming up later.
Okay, maybe I should have read the Darren emails, what I probably should have done. 24 minutes after the hour, we take a 1-minute break. When we come back, highlights from an incredible game last night at the Wenatchee High School Apple Bowl. Leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. And an even more incredible hockey game from the Town Toyota Center. The home teams won. That's all coming up on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Papa Murphy's presents A fresh take on unbaked. Who wants an unbaked pizza? You do. Because unbaked means unprocessed dough and unfrozen vegetables, all prepared fresh by us. So the difference between a pizza fresh from your oven and one pulled from a greasy delivery box? Unreal. The smell? Unbelievable. Leftovers? Unlikely. Home bake a large Papa's All Meat with Canadian bacon, salami, pepperoni, Italian sausage, and ground beef. Just $12. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
25 minutes after the hour on this 21st day of March. It's a Wednesday, overcast and 33 degrees outside of our studios. Clouds all day today, rain, significant rain tonight into Thursday morning. Let's do sports. Wenatchee, while we're hoping for home ice advantage in Game 3 of the Interior Division semifinals against Vernon, and it worked. For the first time in the series, Wenatchee played in front for a while. Anyway, if you missed it last night, you got some incredible highlights. Check it out. Art Checker with the thrilling call of a thrilling game on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Midpoint Jandrick again. He shovels it over and a one-timer. Tip, save made, rebound covered up by Park. And he hangs on as Lambert took a whack and throws a punch, and he gets one back. Zek to Morton, top of the right circle, down low for Weatherby. Back to Zek. He shoots, he scores! Zek over to Weatherby, threads it through. Loose puck in front, shot, score! Sam Morton slaps home the rebound. A 5-on-3 power play goal. The Wild now lead it 2-0. To get it into the zone, twisted in on net and into the goal. From the left side, just a backhand shot that somehow it fooled Park and went off his blocker and in. Latta looking for a trailer, finds one, and Young, his shot, he scores. Williamson comes in, his shot swept and scored. Nico Karamanis swept home the rebound. Williamson got the shot through traffic, and the rebound fell off to the left-hand side of Park. And Karamanis able to sweep it home just like that. The Vipers have pulled ahead. They now lead it by a score of 3-2. Young with an even strength goal, and then Karamanis with a power play goal as well. Fans looking for a call after Iannone got twisted down. It's turned over. Iannone's got it. He shoots. Save made. Rebound. Score! Iannone gets the ultimate revenge for Stratton on the left side. Final minute of play. Regulation. Here comes Hessler. He's in. He shoots. He scores! Point. He shovels it over to Young. That shot blocked on the way through and cleared by Souter the length of the ice. And that'll do it. Well, here's the news flash for you. We've got a series.
Yes, Arch, we got a series. The Wild draw to within one game of the best-of-7 series. Game 4 tonight, Town Center Center. Puck drops at 7:05. Last night's 4-3 loss for Vernon, by the way. The Vipers' first loss of the postseason in 7 games. The Wild will try to make it 2 tonight, send it back to the series, back to Vernon, tied at 2-2. Again, 7:05. Tickets are just $10. That's a good deal. The Wenatchee Panthers hosted West Valley at Leib-Off Field of the Apple Bowl last night. Big 9 boys soccer. Wenatchee trying to erase the memory of Friday's loss at Sunnyside. Jose Camarillo gave the home fans something to cheer about. Our very own Eric Granstrom and Matt Wisen were there on the call. Here are your highlights.
And now Wenatchee with a chip ahead, and here's Camarillo on the run. Heads it, trying to get it to himself with a chance. It's in with a goal. Jose Camarillo in the 12th minute gives Wenatchee a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, great goal by Jose. West Valley was really tentative to do anything with that ball. I think they just wanted to walk it out of bounds. And Jose kind of basically said, you know, if you're not going to kick that ball and if the keeper's not going to come out and get it, I'm just going to go ahead and put a shot on. That long pass, bypassing midfield and losing possession.
Navarrete almost almost bent that one in with the right foot, spinning around just a little bit high and right. So play continues. And again, right in front, and a goal going to be scored. Well, you let them hang on the doorstep forever. Eventually, they're going to get a chance, and Coleman Moore with the equalizer here in the 46th minute.
Yeah, you know, I guess West Valley hasn't really been generating too many shots.
Right.
And Wenatchee's defense did kind of fall asleep there for a second, and
Jose Camarillo was able to get it past the goalkeeper in the net for the goal.
Yeah, just like West Valley's defense there.
Yeah, I mean, boy, he just cut on in his left foot, took a couple of players on, and it was a nice finish past the goalkeeper. Good response from Wenatchee, obviously, with the West Valley just equalising, to have a good reaction to go down the other end and get an early goal shows good team unity and a good reaction to their goal.
Here's the approach and the kick. Zaldivar in front, header attempt by Wenatchee, and it goes in, an own goal after the header for the Panthers, and they go up 3-1.
That's what we were saying before. Good ball into the box. Anything can happen. It was a quick ricochet, and I don't think the West Valley had any communication going on and got slightly unlucky, and the ball went in the back of the net.
Put a foot to it.
Here's a corner kick, crossing, header, tips off the goalkeeper, and
that's a goal.
That's a goal.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. Chance for Wenatchee. The approach. The goalie came out. The ball trickling, and it goes in for the goal. Ferris Nasser with the counter for the Panthers. They lead it 4-2. Boy, you just wondered with that goalkeeper as he came out. I guess that's the play you make. And the collision happened, but that ball just continued to trickle and trickle and trickle and goes in. And there, speaking of the whistle, is the whistle, and the Wenatchee Panthers will claim their 6th consecutive home victory, their 15th out of their last 16 here at the Apple Bowl, as they pick up the win here tonight by a final of 4-2 over the West Valley Rams.
Wenatchee improves to 3-1-1 on the year. They will take on Eisenhower in Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, on Friday. Also on the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from yesterday. In fact, all the local teams, good day on the pitch. As you see, Wenatchee's final there. Eastmont took care of Moses Lake on the road, 4-3. And Chelan, the Goats, no problems with Natchez Valley. High school baseball Tuesday. Eastmont eased past Eisenhower, 11-8. Wenatchee blanked Davis at Rec Park, 8-0. Cascade doubled up Royal, 14-7. On the softball Diamonds, wow, did anybody lose yesterday from the local teams? Not really. Well, you know, we like to think of Freida's local, but as you can see in girls softball, Wenatchee blackjacked Davis 21-11. Oh, nice one there. Eastmont outscored Eisenhower. Freda double up on Cascade, and the first pod of the Big Nine boys golf season went the way of the Rams. Tuesday, West Valley first in the team standings. They shot a .323. Wenatchee was second with a .335. Eastmont third with a .364. And finally, on the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard, tennis. Wenatchee boys beat West Valley 5-2, but the Panther girls came up short to the Rams 6-1. Eastmont split with Moses Lake boys, win 5-2, but the girls lost 5-2. A bunch of sports for you. At 33 minutes after the hour, let's continue with the obscure holiday of the day today. March 21st is Credit Card Reduction Day. Credit card debt is bad. It can just devastate your life. It's just not a good thing to have lots of credit card debt. So start working on that today. Make an extra payment on your credit card. You got to remember the credit card companies want you to make just the minimum payment, and that's when you get into trouble. It's easy to implement a plan to pay a little bit more than the minimum each month. It's amazing how fast that goes. Goes a long way. Limit your new purchases. That's super huge until you can pay off your credit card in full, which is really hard to do. And once you've paid off the balance, if you get to that point, and you should, pay the full due amount each month. Then you really don't get into trouble. Or you can do what I do and just cut them all up. Credit Card Reduction Day, March 21st. 34 minutes after the hour, March 21st, today in history. Today is the 105th anniversary of the worst natural disaster in Ohio history, the Great Dayton Flood of 1913, 105 years ago today. 360 people lost their lives, 20,000 homes were destroyed. It rained cats and dogs about 11, 12 inches over the previous 3 days. The ground was already saturated. There was no place for the water to go, and down it came from the mighty Miami River into downtown Dayton. The volume of water that passed through downtown Dayton during the storm and the subsequent flood equaled the monthly flow over Niagara Falls. It took Dayton a couple of years, as you might imagine, to recover from the Great Dayton Flood of 1913. That's an incredible amount of water. 55 years ago today, March 21st, 1963, Alcatraz closed. That is the last group of prisoners being led down the hallway and out of Alcatraz, and that was that. So once they announced the closing about a year earlier, they said we're going to shut it down in the spring of '63. So they gradually, the population of the prison gradually diminished as they sent and redistributed inmates to other federal prisons. And finally, on March 21st, 1963, the press was invited. The last 27 inmates walked down and got out of there. Frank Weatherman, who had been issued the last inmate number, he was the last inmate to go to Alcatraz in December of 1962, would be the last inmate to walk the gangway and board the boat and leave. And I'm quoting from Frank Weatherman. He was asked by the press, he said, what was his final thoughts on Alcatraz? And Frank Weatherman, the prisoner, said, quote, Alcatraz was never no good for nobody, end quote. Alcatraz shut its doors on this date in 1963. And finally, I remember this, 38 years ago today, March 21st, 1980, President Carter made it official. Everybody knew it was coming, and it finally happened. He said the United States of America is not going to go to the Moscow Olympics in the summer of 1980 because of the Soviet-Afghan war. It was not a surprise, but it was still a bummer. And to this day, I still think we should have gone. That's just me. One birthday to get to on the Birthday Club today. Very talented actor Matthew Broderick is 56 years old today, the American actor. He made his big film debut in War Games. War Games came out in the summer of '83. I love that movie. He was really good. And then, of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was the voice of Simba, of course, in The Lion King. But for the most part, he's been concentrating on his Broadway career, which isn't a bad idea. He's got a couple of Tony Awards. Matthew Broderick is 56 years old today, 37 minutes after the hour. Everyone's entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion. Got a brand new one for you. You've never seen it before. That's coming up. And then for the Wenatchee High School class of 1973, Connie Morris and Greg Brown will talk about all the changes that's taken place over the last 46 years or so. All of it about the bond that the voters of the Wenatchee School District will be asked to vote on April 24th. They're coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Eplidolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive. No nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Eplidolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Eplidolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
I gotta tell you, I'm nervous. Selling your home, it's a big step. Can we find the right buyer in this market? Look at our website. When someone looks at your home, I can tell how ready they are to buy. See that number? The closer it is to 100, the closer they are to buying. So, I know who to zero in on. So you have a secret weapon. You mean we have a secret weapon. I like that. Oh, what do you think of the wallpaper? I love that touch.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
Hi, Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. When you think of Alpine Air in Wenatchee, think of professional, friendly customer service for all your heating and cooling needs. Alpine Air partners with Carrier, manufacturers of some of the best heating and air conditioning equipment available today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Visit our store in Wenatchee, meet our people, see our shop. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X4 offers 4 times the proven off-road capability, 4 times the comfort, and 4 times the confidence to deliver 4 times the excitement on your next outdoor adventure.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's been a good deal of discussion about school protection, and maybe, just maybe, this time we'll see some positive action. However, we need to get past these knee-jerk emotional reactions, stop pointing fingers at who we think is to blame, and stop, once and for all, stop waiting for the government to act. You know, banning bump stocks now may have possibilities for the future, some deterrence on a school shooting sometimes years from now. But let's face it, such action is merely a pacifier to political correctness, which will do nothing now to prevent or even deter the next school shooting. Now let's get real, folks. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life Channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life Channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Dr. Ron Singleton. See how Ideal Protein can help you.
I started Ideal Protein about 10 months ago. I'm down 123 pounds and a little over 50 inches.
Using Ideal Protein, I've lost 37 pounds in just 10 weeks.
I lost over 52 pounds in 4.5 months on Ideal Protein. This has been a wonderful journey. The food is great and it's a very easy program to follow.
This medically designed program has repeatable, safe, and effective results. Call us today to schedule your weight loss consultation.
"44 minutes after the hour, my guests on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley were the very first class to graduate from the current Wenatchee High School back in June of 1973, and they were recruited by Johnny Mack, your friend of mine, John McQuaig, to talk about the bond. To my immediate left is Greg Brown, Brownie, who I've known forever. And all the way to the left is Connie Morris, who I don't believe we've met. Have we, Connie?
Not before today.
Not before today.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
You know, I got to tell you, right off the top, I was looking at the roster of the class of 73. Your class accomplished a lot. You guys have done good.
I know.
In the world.
Were you first in the class?
No.
Or were there first class then?
You were the first class, yeah.
Right, okay.
No, I mean, first of all, trivia question for you. I looked this up. How many members were there of the class of 1973? How many people graduated?
I'm going to say about 468. Close.
52.
I got the exact number, 436.
Oh.
You had 436.
I knew that.
In your class. Very first class to graduate. You and the class of 73 and the class of 74 have a very unique distinction. The only two classes that attended what we call the old Wenatchee High School and the new Wenatchee High School. The class of 75 never went to the old school, and the class of 72 never went to the new school. So that's you have a unique distinction, your class does.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Went from the big old school to the new one, and big wide hallways, no stairs. That was fun.
For those who don't remember, and we'll start with you, Connie, tell us about what we affectionately call the old Wenatchee High School. It closed in 1972. It was torn down in 1975. So most people don't even have memories of the building, much less the old high school. What do you remember of the old high school?
I loved that old building. It was really hard to leave it. The bricks, the smell, and the gym. Hello Hall, where you'd meet your friends in the morning. The boys would sit and watch the girls go up the stairs. Days of miniskirts. The theater was funky, and the wooden floors. I just enjoyed everything about it. It was a hard transition for me to go from old to new, but.
Greg, your memories of the old Wenatchee High School?
The little gymnasium they tried to play basketball in, that was tiny. Stairs, creaky floors. I had to go from one level on one end of the building to a class 5 minutes later. Was kind of scurrying, but it was an old building.
And then
it was falling apart.
And in September of 1972, the doors opened to a brand new facility, and you walked in and you went,
wow.
It was wow.
It was a big wow. It was huge. It was so different.
It felt
And
really
that room.
open compared to the intimacy of the older building.
Were you surprised? Because you could actually, and you can still today, walk the entire campus and not take a single step. The old Wenatchee High School had stairwells, and it was 2 levels, and you can go all over the current Wenatchee High School, and they have ramps instead of stairs, and you can watch the entire campus, walk the entire campus, and not actually go up a step.
I misspoke. There was ramps and there was a few steps
Yes,
on the
there
car.
are.
They had an option. I don't know if it's still that way, but you had an
it's still that
option.
way.
Okay.
And I loved the courtyard we had. That seemed like totally uptown to have a courtyard.
Well, the other key was there was a parking lot.
Yeah.
At the old school, you didn't have a parking lot. You parked on the street. Well, they had one little dirt thing that held maybe 20 cars, but we parked on everybody's driveway and in front of their house.
Those classes, your class, this class of 74, the class that preceded the class of 72, those were huge classes, and yet you were all crammed into that 70-year-old brick building. Was that, we talk about that now because Wenatchee High School overcrowding is a significant issue. Was the old Wenatchee High School by the end of the 60s and early 70s completely overcrowded and hard to get around?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't recall.
It's a long time ago now.
Yeah, I don't recall it being uncomfortable like it is now, because I'm in the building quite a bit now, and I definitely witness the overcrowding every day.
Well, I was there. We were there yesterday getting ready for tonight's forum at 7 o'clock live here on the NCW Live channel, and we happened to be there bringing our gear in for testing during a transition from one class to another, and it was hard to get from where we needed to be to the media room to set up our equipment. It's hard to make your way through the hallway during class changes now. It's terribly overcrowded.
Well, and you have to remember we had 3 classes in the building initially, and now there are 4 classes. So that makes a big difference in itself.
Yeah, there's close to 2,000 people, or over when you count students and support staff, and everybody else. There's 2,000 people ebbing and flowing through that building on a regular basis. And that
I've been in their class changes, and we used to come out of the meetings we were in just to watch the kids bump into each other because it was just jammed.
John McQuaid, class of 72, recruited you two to come on this show. Why you two, and how did you get the call? Tell me how you got recruited to do this show. Connie, how did you get the gig?
Well, John and I have been friends from the get-go. We swam on the swim team together, so the McQuaid family and the Field family are close. And John and I are currently working on the Apple Blossom musical together. He has a part as one of the gamblers in Guys and Dolls, and I'm a costumer.
Okay.
So I happened to be in the costume room one evening, and John says, "Hey, Connie, I need you to do something, and I want you to recruit a couple of people." So my first thought was Greg Brown, and here he is. Thanks, Greg, for saying yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. My first reaction actually was, no, I don't want to do that. And it was for all the wrong reasons, and then I decided, okay. So I was asked, John McQuaig, known him a long time also. I thought I should sit down and figure out why I should not or should do that. And then it hit me that when you ask people for money for schools, the initial reaction usually is, oh, not again, or whatever. So I thought, let me sit down and think about this. Why would I want to do that or not do that? And then so it finally hit me that, you ask for money and a bond to build a new school. I had to personalize it, thinking, all right, so what if I had thousands of kids coming into my house for years?
45.
For 45 years, coming into my house every year, and I had to maintain that thing. And I had a job, and schools don't make anything, so they have to go to the taxpayers, and hopefully we're turning out people that are going to put money back into the system to, when we retire, et cetera, all the things that go with it. But I thought, how am I going to keep this place up? Well, you got thousands of kids coming in, they really don't care, it's not their house. I'm not their parent, but they're coming in every week. You're going to have to maintain it, keep it up. They're going to tear it up. I thought, this gets interesting. So where's the money come from? This is separate from the McCleary and some of these other things. This is just the building. It's 45 years old. If my house at home, or where I live now, had thousands of kids come through it, I bet it looked pretty bad after 45 years, and it probably cost me a bunch to fix it up.
In many ways, it's a small miracle isn't as good a shape as it is in many respects.
Well, that's what maintenance levies and things are for. So yeah, I thought about that too. It takes a lot to do that. The crew, and you hope the people are making the right decisions on how to fix things, but stuff wears out, you got to change it out. In the school, you can't do that every year. You can be asking for a school every 5 years if you live that way at home.
That's true.
And I spent a lot of time in the theater department, and about 5 years ago we ended up, Katie Pauley led a charge to replace the seats because the Wenatchee High School venue sees a lot of functions and makes money for the school. And the seats hadn't been changed out for 40 years.
They were in bad shape.
Yeah, we had to go outside the regular school funding in order to get the seats changed. And then there are so many activities in the theater and that were on top of each other. There aren't enough practice rooms, there's not enough space for costumes, for instruments, and you have the incredible mariachi program that we didn't have back in the 70s. So I personally see every day the crowding that occurs down at that end of the hall, and how beneficial it would be to be able to update that section of the building. And so many kids participate in the music and theater departments, and it's a good mentoring program. So definitely would love to see that supported.
Two items about perception, and one of these things is something that the three of us talked about when we were getting ready to do the show. The three of us still refer to it as the new Wenatchee High School because we remember the old Wenatchee High School. It shouldn't be called the new Wenatchee High School anymore because it opened in September of 1972. It's not new anymore. We need to use the word the current Wenatchee High School because it, quite frankly, needs help. The infrastructure needs help. It looks great on the outside. You get into the guts of it on the inside and you have the overcrowded classrooms and HVAC systems that are failing and plumbing that is failing. It needs help. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to guess you guys are both voting yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to replace it at some point.
Yeah.
When is that? You can't go on forever. And for 45 years, even when you're as old as we are, it's a long time.
Why? And I've gotten comments from people on this, so I'm going to ask you too. I have people who say, I had kids who went through the Wenatchee School District. They graduated from Wenatchee High School. I'm a property owner. I'm a taxpayer. I've done my civic duty. Thank you very much for educating my kids. I have no dog in this hunt. Why should I vote to tax myself $120 million to renovate and remodel Wenatchee High School when I don't have any kids in it anymore? Why do I care? They should care.
Well, you should care. It turns out people that, like they say, pay into the system at some point. If nobody went to high school, what would society look like? If you didn't have a school. If you had, I guess there's other alternative ways to do school, but thousands of people never get through it. They get jobs, they pay into a system that takes care of people that do retire. Hopefully that will be us one day. It's a big system, and you have to spread it across. You can't just tax the people with kids, or you wouldn't have any schools. You couldn't run it that way. It needs to be.
Same question for you, Connie. Tell people who don't have any kids in the system either never will because they just won't, or they've already had kids through the system and they don't have any kids anymore, but you still want them to vote yes.
Well, I think we have to support things that are for the good of all, and not just focus on those things that benefit me. So schools are the basis for our culture. That's the biggest payback we get. So yes, everybody has to support the schools.
You watched yesterday's show when we had Sebastian Passion and Ashley Turner on, seniors at Wenatchee High School. I'm of the opinion, I've said this many, many times, I think kids are getting a better education today than you or I or Connie ever got. The kids are better educated now than ever. You think so?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, they do have the tech.
Yeah.
It gives them access to a lot of information that we had to find in an encyclopedia. So.
Correct.
And teachers have passion. You know, I don't know. I don't know that I could speak to that informally, but I know that there are a lot of volunteers, parent volunteers in the school, like myself, who care a lot about the kids and care about mentoring good stewards.
You were both born and raised here, graduated in 1973, and you decided to call Wenatchee home. So you would say, from your perspective, the education that you got through the Wenatchee School District and Wenatchee High School benefited your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love the town for so many reasons, and it's a great place to live and come back to. And I grew up in that end of the town, so it was fun to watch the building being built as well. So yeah, it's a great place to be. And I'm working here and making a difference just as Greg is.
Yeah, we hope to be here a long time, Wenatchee, you know, and it's going to grow. You got to have a school system, you got to have good schools, and people are going to stick around.
And you made a very important point there, Brownie, is that the Wenatchee High School is not going to get smaller. There's always going to be a lot of kids going through that aging building. They're not talking about ripping the dang thing down. They're just talking about doing some renovations, important renovations, and some remodeling, adding a second story on the Miller Street side of it. It's not a spa. It's not a resort.
No.
It's just the school needs help. It needs help.
Well, check out Washington School, which I attended that. And it was a little brick building that was one big building. And
I attended it as well.
It's kind of Wenatchee High School is going to be a bigger version of what they did there, and I think it's what they need to do.
Well, and I think we need to remember that we have to have a good school system to attract talent to Wenatchee. It's part of the reason that I came back, part of the reason that I'm trying to encourage my daughter to move here, because it's a great place to raise your kids and to educate your kids. So you have to have facilities that will house the children in a reasonable way.
You make a great point, Connie. Connie Morris maybe made the most important point of all. Young professionals come to this town, they're going to put down roots. Wenatchee's going to be my new home. I'm going to put my kids through the Wenatchee Public Schools. I like it here. This is a great place to live. Let's go decide where we want to live in the Wenatchee Valley. And they take a look at pretty nice remodeled elementary schools. Washington Elementary is brand new, and Lincoln has been extensively remodeled. The other schools are not that old, actually, and they've been remodeled and kept up very well. The three middle schools, then they go to Wenatchee High School and they go, it looks great on the outside, but on the inside, it's got problems. And they base on where they're going to live on those kind of decisions, don't they?
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not hiding I'm voting yes. I'm voting yes. We got about a minute left. Anything else you want to touch on, Connie, while I have you here? First of all, thanks for doing the show. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So.
Well, you know, I look at all the pieces of where the money's going to be spent. Another piece is the track. My husband's a track coach. I walked around that track. I was a track athlete, and it's a shame that we invite other schools to Wenatchee and they come to this rundown. And it doesn't have bathrooms or concessions. There's a way that we could make money in the program. It's there needs to be something done with the track, and the tennis courts are literally condemned.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's an embarrassment as a 4A school.
It's good to see you, Brownie. No 3 putts. All right. Oh, here's some golf balls for you. There you go.
Dan.
Yeah, Connie, do you play golf?
I do.
There
badly.
you go. There you go.
Greg's my best teacher.
Where's the driving range?
Where's the driving range?
Thank
Don't forget
you.
the forum tonight at 7 o'clock at the Wenatchee High School LGI Large Group Instruction Room. I will be your moderator. You can watch it on television or you can be there in person. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.